with Total Life Pursuit, and you have found teaching number 4 of the physical training teachings. This is to go through the Physical Health Manual. It's a supplemental teaching series, and it's all about physical health. This one, number 4, is about what you take in, or what you consume, or what you eat. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Most people think they have a firm grasp on what healthy eating is. So I would encourage you, if that's you, put everything down that you eat in an app. There's many apps on the market. I like Cronometer. I really should be getting money from them. I like Cronometer because it shows micronutrients. And that's a very important thing to be able to track micronutrients, because you're going to see how your potassium levels are, how your omega-6 versus 3 levels are. It's very good. But whatever it is, I want you to write it down, or put it down rather, in an app for at least 4 days, and then take a look at it, okay? What we've been taught in the past of what is healthy, and what, it'll say all natural on a package, or healthy choice, or something like that. Yeah, you can't believe that stuff. I encourage you to study and to understand what healthy really is. For today, I want you to put aside your thoughts. Just be open-minded. Doesn't mean you have to agree with me. Just put aside your preconceived notions and listen to what I have to say. Okay? Liquid health. Let's start there. Liquid health. Water is an essential nutrient. You can only last about 3 days, maybe 4 days without water. It does so many great things in your body. The human body is 55 to somewhere between 55 and 78% water, depending on your body size, time of day, and things like that. A rule of thumb is 2/3 of your body consists of water, and its main component, it is the main component of the human body. Do you know that your tissues and organs are mainly made up of water? Here's the percentage. Approximate, of course. Muscle consists of 75% water. Brain consists of 90% water. Bone consists of 22% water. Blood consists of 83% water. The functions of water in your body are absolutely vital. They transport nutrients and oxygen into cells. They moisturize the air in your lungs. They help with metabolism. They protect vital organs. They help our organs to absorb nutrients better. They regulate body temperature. Water regulates body temperature. It detoxifies, it protects and moisturizes our joints. A loss of 1.5% of water volume is considered dehydration, and both bodily performance and cognitive ability are affected at 1.5%. Functions like complex problem solving, coordination, attention suffer the most under dehydration, while activities including quick reactions weren't as affected. With an hour of moderate intensity activity and temperatures in the mid-80s, at a moderate humidity, it's not uncommon to lose 2 pounds of water. I remember the wrestlers, they would always, get these sweatsuits on, not like a sweatsuit like we get at the store, like honest to goodness sweatsuits, and they would run and lose water weight so they could weigh in and make weight. Not a good way to make weight. Food contains a lot of water, but as a general rule, half your body weight in ounces is what you should be consuming. So take however many pounds you are, divide that in 2, and that's the amount of ounces. If you sweat, drink more. If you work out, drink more. And also, if you sweat a lot, replace electrolytes as well. Do not drink the high fructose corn syrup garbage, or the artificial sweetener garbage. That's bad. There are great alternatives to that. Okay, you can do it by foods or by drinks, but don't eat that sweet stuff. Don't drink that sweet stuff drinks. So let's turn our attention to eating. Why do we eat? Why do you eat? It's a good question. Let's answer that as we go. There are hundreds of diets out there. Am I right? There's Atkins, South Beach, Mediterranean, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Zone, low fat, low carb, high carb. There are so many diets out there. Remember the grapefruit diet? Just eat grapefruit. It's not gonna help. Okay? Dozens of eating styles too, not just diets. Really, they're a lifestyle eating like keto and paleo and vegan and pescatarian and vegetarian and the very popular vegan. So what do we do? How do we choose? Well, let's think about why we eat. Food is supposed to give our bodies something. Macronutrients, micronutrients, phytochemicals, and a lot of other wonderful things. We eat to feed our cells. There's 10 trillion of them, and they all have a function to perform. We need to eat to feed our microbiome in our gut. You've maybe heard of the gut bacteria. There's 100 trillion or so of them. I propose that we eat a new type of diet. My daughter spoke this to me, and I just grabbed on it. Nutritarian diet. How about that? How about if we eat for nutrients? Well, that's a shocker. No, I don't want to eat animals because, oh, that's great. You got to get your nutrients still. Well, I just like eating whatever I want to eat. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Unless you change what you want to eat to the nutrient level that you really need. Does that make sense? We need to eat so we get enough of the nutrition our body needs to operate on a high level. Of course, if you like your body to operate on a low level, then just eat garbage food. And then it will. Then you get to wake up and you're oh man, I'm kind of achy and your joints are... There are people who go on a cleansing type diet and get into an eating lifestyle that is a cleansing type diet, like I eat. And all of a sudden they wake up in the morning and they're like, wow, I feel good. I didn't know this was possible. Well, it is, because you're giving your body what it needs. There are deficiency problems all throughout our eating lifestyle in America, the modern American diet, or MOD. So there's magnesium and phosphorus and sodium and potassium and calcium. You know some of the things they have in common? I know they're minerals. You knew that. Together, they help create the body's electrical current. Electrical current for your heart. Can you imagine, and for your brain, can you imagine if you're low on one of those? If you're depleted on one of those? They work in cooperation, as do all nutrients. Deficiency in one can lead to a problematic result. The symptoms of potassium and sodium imbalance. You ready? Symptoms. You think, oh, you know what? Potassium and sodium, what? Too much salt? What are you talking? Potassium and sodium imbalance, heart irregularity, chronic fatigue, muscle pain, immune deficiencies, bloating, calcium excretion, cancer, and hypertension. Was that enough for you? Sodium and potassium are associated with muscular functions. These minerals, also known as body electrolytes, control muscle contraction because of their role in the nerve function and the conduction of nerve impulse and electrical signals. However, calcium and magnesium are lesser known yet essential minerals for a healthy heart and healthy muscles. Calcium and magnesium work together to control muscle contraction. Muscle proteins require calcium to initiate contraction and magnesium to initiate relaxation. I don't know if you think that's important, but movement is pretty important. Magnesium also increases the absorption of calcium from blood. It's also required for protein synthesis and energy production. That means if you don't have enough magnesium, you won't be producing enough energy, and that's why chronic fatigue is one of the symptoms. Similarly, iron and vitamin B6 help muscles by providing oxygen and bioenergy required for contraction and relaxation. Are you getting what I'm saying? In short, nutrients supply what your body needs, and that is why we consume food. So, what is starvation? This is a very interesting definition. Starvation is the result of a severe or total lack of nutrients needed for the maintenance of life. Adequate nutrition has two major components: necessary nutrients and energy in the form of calories. It's possible to ingest enough energy, calories, without ingesting enough nutrients. That's a problem. And if you ask someone like my daughter, a nutritional therapist, they're going to tell you if you eat the standard or modern American diet, you have nutritional deficiencies. Your body is starving for nutrients. So malnutrition involves a dietary deficiency. Malnutrition results from a poor diet or lack of food. It happens when the intake of nutrients or energy is too high, too low, or poorly balanced. Let me tell you something. So many people in America are in a state of malnutrition. You ever say, oh man, I'm really starving, I'm starving. You ever say that? And we mean we're hungry, which could mean the need for food, for an energy source, or for nutrients. We crave certain foods in a healthy way. When we crave certain foods in a healthy way, we're craving nutrients. This is good. But when we're toxic, we're craving our addiction or feeding our emotional issues or eating for all the wrong reasons. And it's really time, and in your book, there's plenty of opportunity for this. In the manual, Total Life Pursuit Physical Health Manual, there's plenty of opportunity to get real with this because it's time to get real. Why do we eat what we eat? Why am I hungry right now? What is going on? And I might add that sometimes you're hungry when you're thirsty, and you just don't know the difference because you don't know your body. You say, oh no, I know my body. Oh, I think that we don't know our body as well as we think we do. The well-balanced diet is not what we grew up thinking that it was. A well-balanced diet is taking in the right amount of nutrients, not eating some kind of percentages. Well, if you just eat 25% protein and 25% grains and 25% milk and 25% vegetables, then what? You think, you're making it awful difficult. I'm really not. What I'm doing is challenging you to change the way you think about food. What is food? God gave it to us. He said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, every tree that has fruit with seeds in it. They will be yours for food. And in Genesis 9, everything that lives and moves will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything. Simply put, the food is either living creatures or the productions of plants and trees that remains in its original state. Plants were given to us to eat fresh and to cook them. Overcooking isn't good. It takes away nutritional value. Heating some foods increases nutritional value. For example, protein in cooked eggs is 180% more than in raw eggs. Heating reduces water-soluble vitamins, though. It reduces vitamin C and the B vitamins, B1 and 2 and 3 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Didn't even know there was that many vitamins. I don't know why A, B, C, did they discover just more B's families? Yeah, they put them all in the B family. Heat cooks out, though, oxalates from leafy greens, which is really good. It's beneficial for us because raw veggies retain their fibrous content when they're in their natural state. And that's really good for us. Fiber is really good. So how do you do this? Well, you've got to learn. You learned how to drive. You went to school. You learned how to read. You learned how to write. Whatever the job you have, you learned how to do that. You got to learn how to eat. Maybe I could give a seminar on it, but it's going to be hours and hours and hours. Whether it's meat or vegetable, fruit, legumes, nuts, or anything else, it's food when it hasn't been taken to the factory and changed. When food, it is food when it's taken into the home and eaten, whether it's heated, in other words, cooked, or not. So what are real food products? Well, they're real foods that have been combined together to form a product. So what are food products, or what do I call non-food products, really? What are food products? Well, I'll tell you what they are. These products are created in a factory that contain some food, some adulterated food, and some chemicals created by man. I mean, there's guys with degrees, they're flavorologists, and they put chemicals in your food so you keep eating them because it lights up certain parts of your brain. Oh, they don't do that, Jared. Oh, they do that. They do that. And what do you mean adulterated food? Well, I believe it was 1906, there was a Supreme Court case where this flour was seized by the government. Do you know why it was seized? Because they bleached it. That's right, they bleached it. And the government won the case and said, yeah, you can't adulterate food like that. I don't know what happened. We adulterate everything. We bleach everything. Hey, let's see, there might be a bug in that. Let's just fry it and take out everything that's good in there. Every kind of microbiome that's good in that. I mean, we do a lot of crazy things to our food. It is generally understood that refining food destroys nutrients. That's why they add in fortified nutrients. And where did they get the fortified nutrients, by the way? Were they created in a lab? Interesting. When you refine and bleach grain, half of the beneficial unsaturated fatty acids are gone. Virtually all the vitamin D is lost. 50% of the calcium gone. 70% of the phosphorus gone. 80% of the iron gone. 98% of the magnesium gone. 50 to 80% of the B vitamins gone. Are you with me? It's crazy. And we just think, oh, well, it's whole wheat bread. My hope is that you will begin to choose real food, even if you do it step by step. What eating well does for your body, let's talk about that for a second. Remember I said before the biggest causes of death were lifestyle diseases. Eating healthy keeps your cardiovascular system healthy. Tomatoes, for instance, contain lycopene, an antioxidant phytochemical that helps prevent heart disease. I don't like tomatoes. They got a pill for lycopene? They probably do, but why don't you just... Oh, I'm going to get on my soapbox. Well, find lycopene. There's lycopene in watermelon. I don't like that either. Okay. Then you have to tell your body what it's going to like. Body, you're going to like the tomato. No, really, I don't like tomatoes. Lycopene prevents heart disease, helps prevent heart disease. Stay away from the fat-free because it's usually packed with sugar, because when you take fat out, you got to put something in there to make it taste good, which is sugar, which is the leading cause of cardiovascular disease according to a lot of research. A lot of veggies like broccoli, a cruciferous vegetable, are almost anti-cancer. They're full of antioxidants and as well as chemicals like IC3 that actually suppress cancer cell growth. I don't like broccoli. Well, Google or look up cruciferous vegetables and find one that you like. I don't like any of them. We're back to this. It's anti-cancer. You'd like to avoid cancer. Eat cruciferous vegetables. See, when you eat sugary stuff, It can trigger depression. What? Come on, man. Yes, depression. So eat things that are low on the glycemic scale. What's a glycemic scale, Terry? Is that in your book? It's not in my book. But I can tell you anything with the word berry in there is low on the glycemic scale, meaning it's better to eat. But if you will look that up, you will see the glycemic scale as well. Sure, depression is a mental thing, but let's think about this. Whenever we eat, we ingest a chemical. Chemicals in our body has a reaction with the chemicals already in our body. Eating fiber or free prebiotics or probiotics improve your gut health. Not only is 90% of your neurotransmitter serotonin created in your gut, 50% of your dopamine is created in your gut. And your gut is the master signaler for many bodily functions like your immune system. It's said to 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut. So I'm wondering, maybe we should take care of our gut. But if we're not eating things like onions that are prebiotics, or drinking things like kombucha, or eating things like sauerkraut that are probiotics, if we're not doing that, we are really not taking care of our guts. And if we're eating a bunch of sugary stuff because, well, I'm going to treat myself today. I'm going to have my breakfast is going to be donuts. Oh my gosh, donuts. That's really bad for you. You should have pancakes instead. Oh, good. So it's cake for breakfast or fried cake for breakfast. Or you could have a muffin, which is a bald cake for breakfast. You see where we're going in this country? Well, yeah, but pancakes, I can make them whole grain. Oh, good. And then just lather them with high fructose corn syrup. That's great. It's a good idea. Not a good idea. I'm being facetious, obviously. So, eating the prebiotics, probiotics, and eating a lot of nutrients improve your memory. They improve your sleeping. They give you strong bones and strong teeth. They manage your weight. They improve energy. And those and many other benefits are found within what you eat. For the exercise people who eat terrible, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. In my next video, for those of you who eat well but don't exercise, well, you can't out-eat a sedentary lifestyle. It takes both. Picking the right foods to eat, let's talk about that. Eat organic when you can. Buy seasonal. It's cheaper. So if you're going to try to buy organic stuff when it's not in season, that means they're shipping it in from somewhere. It's going to be more expensive. Watch sales at different places that sell organic goods. Costco is one of those places that is the largest organic retailer in America. So watch their stuff. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. And then buy online. You can't find the organic stuff within your price range? Buy non-GMO. Okay, GMO is a problem because GMO stuff is created in a laboratory. God created the stuff that's in the ground. Scientists like, oh, you know what? We can make this better. Let's make something so when insects eat it, their intestines explode. Wouldn't that be cool? Let's do that. It's not going to affect humans, though. I don't know that there is a ton of credible studies of long-term damage on GMOs. Maybe there is. I haven't read them. I don't want that. And I don't want a plant that has been molecularly changed to withstand 8 times the amount of toxic chemicals. And by the way, those GMO crops are getting 8 times the toxic chemicals. I don't want to eat that. So I stay away from GMOs. If you're buying conventionally grown food, avoid the dirty dozen. What are the dirty dozen? They're going to magically appear to my right or left or somewhere. I'm sure of it. But again, look it up. Look up the dirty dozen. Basically, those items in the dirty dozen are the things with very thin skin or no skin at all that will absorb the toxic chemicals. Avoid those. Get bright colored vegetables. The brighter the color, the more phytochemicals, the better they are for you. Cycle your food eating with the planet. I know that we can get fruit all year long. I mean, A watermelon used to be just a very short time when I was a kid. It was like, it's watermelon season, yes. Now you can get watermelon all year long. Well, don't. Cycle it. Do the fall vegetables. Do the winter vegetables. Do spring vegetables. Do summer vegetables. Do what the earth is doing. Now, if you're an Eskimo in Alaska, obviously you're not going to grow anything anywhere anyways. But if you happen to make a hothouse, then that's what you're going to grow. But we don't live there. Most of us live in America, where things grow cyclically, or at least that is how God made the planet. Grass-fed beef, chicken, even pork. I know people can't give up their bacon, so I'm saying pork. Grass-fed. Free range is better. Why? Because they eat what God ordained them to eat. And you eat whatever they eat. I hope that makes sense to you. Whatever they eat, you eat. So let's make sure they're eating what God intended for them to eat and not some kind of weird pellet in a fish ranch. Wild-caught fish are better because of that. Natural animals are better for you. So, pick foods that you enjoy. You think, oh, you just messed up the whole thing. You can learn to enjoy these wonderful foods, this gift that God has given to us. Learn to prepare them with wonderful seasonings, the basil and the salts and peppers and chili powders and garlic and all of these wonderful cloves and turmeric and things that you put in the foods to make them taste wonderful. And when you shop, stay away from the middle aisles. Those are the aisles. You think, oh, the middle aisles, you mean like the bleach and household goods aisle? Well, no, you can go down that aisle. It's the aisle next to it that has all the canned package stuff. Well, the canned stuff, some of that stuff isn't as bad, high in sodium, but it's the packaged goods, the things that have been created in the factory, the things that have the shelf life of 3 or 4 months. Maybe not so good. So what's the basic concept of a good meal, Terry? Glad you asked. Veggie foundation. Foundation of all of your eating. Veggies. You mean veggies in the morning for breakfast? That's not a breakfast food. Who made up that term breakfast food? Who? Companies that wanted you to buy their packaged doo-doo. Okay? That's who made up. Oh, this is a breakfast food. Look at these wonderful, whatevers they are. I'm not saying you can never have a waffle. Okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that foundationally, veggies should be there, even in the morning. A good protein portion, especially as you get older, you need more protein. A good protein portion. If you're going to do grains, it's got to be 100% whole wheat, 100% whole grain, and also seeds like quinoa. Quinoa is a fantastic seed. Okay, now this is going to be controversial, but if you're going to do dairy, do it raw. Yeah, but couldn't there be dangerous bacteria? There could be. Get it from a good source. Well, that's why we pasteurize it, Terry, so we get rid of all that dangerous bacteria. Yeah, but you get rid of the good bacteria. Fruit, you notice I hadn't said it before. It's dessert. Use it like it's dessert. You have to learn how to eat to attain the life you want. How you live today will determine how you live tomorrow. It's an absolute truism. So buckle down and make some choices, take some steps that you are going to increase your levels of healthy eating. Maybe I'm going to have an avocado on the toast that I make in the morning, right? Because that's, it's a fruit actually, but it's really a superfood. It's really great. Put more, if you're going to have a sandwich, load it up with vegetables, okay? At dinner time, load the plate with vegetables. Have a high concentration at night. And don't forget the cruciferous ones. And start going organic. Just start with little things like eggs. Go with organic eggs. It costs the difference in the prices is very little. So just take the steps. Most people don't want me to come over and clean out their cupboards. Oh, that's no good. That's no good. Because they were like, oh, all that money's going down the drain. I almost said when the castor oil. Yeah, when that runs out, when the canola oil that runs out, and by the way, the first created purpose of canola oil was lubrication and machinery. When that runs out, instead of that, use extra virgin olive oil for all the cold things. And if you're going to heat things, coconut oil or avocado oil. Use those. Just start doing things a little at a time, and you're going to find that your health is going to improve greatly, your life is going to improve greatly, even the way you think is going to improve greatly. So I'm with you on the journey. If I can answer any questions, don't hesitate to email me. I would love to help you on your upward trajectory of eating better. This is Terry with Total Life Pursuit. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you next time.